All I ask is, if we have to give these bastards our lives, we give them hell before we do!
The tragedy of our day is the climate of fear in which we live.
Talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing.
I would ask the congressman to withdraw that comment and tell us that he really means that.
Half a stop before they do what I call skepticism.
I don't know what I said. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Bible commands that certain people be put to death.
Thieves or possesses weapons of mass destruction. 9/11 attacks were carried out by Al-Qaeda.
Handle the truth!
I remember that with nothing more. We are still here!
We have to say yes to socialism.
Let you know tomorrow. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
And we are live on the recording. Who's doing what here? We did. Libertarians don't plan things, so.
Oh yeah.
As you can see,
the unplanned Libertarian podcast.
Yeah, whose show is
Who's in
this?
charge?
They have the banner. So
Well,
I think...
Phil usually does the intro.
Yeah.
So why don't you kick us off, man?
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast, episode Anarchy Meat Locker. I guess that's. Woo! So we're here at the Maryland Libertarian Convention in the back room, which appears to be a meat locker. And
technically it is.
Yeah, I got the door next to me. Although there's a giant glory hole in the room, but I think that's where the feds are going to pump in the. I think they all got us concentrated back here and then pump in what's the Z gas? What is it?
Oh, Zyklon B?
Zyklon B?
Yeah.
Man, we're going to open this with Holocaust jokes? Fuck.
Sorry,
straight
Jared.
out the gate. Straight out the gate.
Yeah, so would you guys hear right there? That is the lovely
Yo.
Clint.
Lovely. I don't know about
Hi, Clint
that.
Russell, man. What's up, man?
Can you guys hear me? Is it projecting at all?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Clint Russell, host of Liberty Lockdown. Thank you guys for having me. It is a pleasure. I flew Spirit, and that's how much I fucking believe in this movement.
God bless you.
I will risk everything for you
life in
people.
your hands.
Any doors fly off? Any?
No, but some fucking fists almost flew. So
Really?
same
You were
thing.
telling us last night at the donor dinner.
Well, hold on. Let's get through
down.
this.
Yeah, do the full intro.
Let me introduce.
We'll shelf that.
Let me introduce Dan Smots, the guy.
Hi.
He's made this
me.
whole thing happen, man.
I'm trying to make something happen. It seems like it might be working. It's hard to tell, but hi, Dan Smots.
Hell yeah! Thanks
Hi,
for
Otto.
coming down from all
Thank
the way
you.
from Ohio.
Thank you for having me.
Ohio. Well,
Yeah.
That's not real.
Illinois, but someday you'll learn who I am. I've been on your podcast before. You didn't show up, and then nobody knew who the fuck I was. But, it's good to be back.
We
Thank you.
disrespect our guests. That's
Yeah.
kind of what we do.
Whatever. No one cares. Yeah. And I guess best for last over there is Dave Casey, his hetero life mate, I guess.
That's right.
He's probably
His better half.
one of the most base people from Delaware.
Who's the better kisser between
Thanks,
you two?
man. I'm very gentle.
Okay.
me.
Yeah.
World boss.
I'm rough, but it's worth it.
That's right. That's the yin and the yang there.
All right, Joe's question is answered.
Yo, thanks for the invite, man. I appreciate it. It's awesome to be here with Clint and with you guys, and I had a great day today. This is a base group of people, and glad to be here with Dan and the Punk Rock Libertarians. You guys are great, and appreciate you. It's awesome.
Thanks, Dave.
man.
Dave.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't have to really try during my speech because Dave just filled in the blanks by being a raging asshole like he
That
does.
was
And
awesome.
That's why I love him.
I don't think we've had like a speaker that just was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna like talk shit about the whole party." Like, I
feel like everybody did that today.
Yeah, this was amazing. Like, this was just the best like speaker, like it's a duo just going at it and just like, "Hey, what's up, Dan Fishman? You're there. You suck, but hey, you know, it was great. This was awesome." Like, I was like, what other convention would do something as dumb as this?
I have a very like I'm trying to get fired attitude right now.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. So
I mean, we're all going down on this sinking ship. We might as well,
Right.
you know, Just play it
play
out.
the violin.
Yes.
Speaking of weed, we also have another special guest who drove all the way down from his undisclosed location. James Babb is in the house with us, man.
Oh! Live in the flesh.
Great to be here. Hell yeah. This is awesome. I get to sit next to this is like the old Anarchy basement days, and hopefully I don't break another chair. It's like
Anarchy meat. How sturdy is that chair? What's the
Anarchy
rating on
meat
that?
locker.
Oh, this one's good and sturdy.
Is that up
this
to
chair.
code?
It is, I think, because we're at a restaurant, so it's up to code.
Right.
Anarchy basement, there was no code. Yeah, there is the hole. So.
Yeah, what's that hole doing, dude? Is that your glory hole over there?
It's my ventilation.
Oh yeah.
Sure, call it that.
Yeah, but we got a live band going on across the way, I guess. And,
What are they playing? Some
I don't know.
Iron Maiden?
No, it's some cover band. I don't know.
This brewery's jumping. Why don't you tell them where we are?
Yeah. We're in Stevensville on Kent Island in Maryland on the Eastern Shore.
And the name of the brewery is.
Sorry, my ADD just. And I'm looking at Tim. I'm not used to an audience. All right, he's telling me like
He's got state
classic,
classic.
and then he's in my ear saying, "Say Colt Classic." I'm like, "What? What do I do?"
What do I say?
Cult Classic Brewing.
What do
Give
I
it
do
up
with
for
my hands?
Cult Classic Brewing.
Yeah, there we go.
It's good.
Your hands don't look small. You're fine.
You're right.
And I've never been to a brewing company that I've heard more emo music at than this one. So God bless them for keeping it real.
You're on cloud nine.
Also,
Yeah.
toot my own horn, we just officially set up, and you were looking at the new at-large member of the Libertarian Party Emo Caucus. So, I know, right?
Big deal.
Wow. Fuck yeah. Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Wow.
How can I get on your payroll?
He's putting the large in at large.
I was waiting for someone to make that joke.
Gotta have at least one.
And I can help.
So what is it that you'd say you do there?
The same thing I do in the LNC. Literally nothing.
Cut yourself and cry?
No, that's too much effort for me.
Okay.
I just eat my feelings. You know?
Yeah, it's fine.
Classic fat guy.
Yeah.
See, I got some sympathy back there. But no, it's awesome having an audience here.
We don't have our board here though, dude.
Both of them.
Oh no, we don't have our board.
We don't have our topics.
I'm gonna come.
We don't have the soundboard or the board.
Yeah, so
I don't have any docs, so we're just freestyling here.
Bit of advice for those that have never had
You
a
do the sound clips by memory, like.
for those that have never had a live audience. The key to making a good show is to forget that there's a fucking audience there and just go.
Did you guys notice the audience? That's weird.
If you guys could just go ahead and just
Fucking
turn
weird.
this way, that would be great.
I'm imagining them all
Make us all
naked.
more comfortable.
Yeah.
We can be naked.
It's getting a little warm in here.
Now, dare I ask, did we have a plan as far as discussion topics, or are we just
No,
freeballing
you
it
hit
here?
record before we got a chance to do any of
Okay.
it.
Let's take topics from the
Before you had a
audience.
chance to come up with topics, like we didn't discuss it a month ago.
Raise your hand and throw out a topic.
Jeffrey Epstein.
All right.
All right.
Let's go.
Misunderstood.
Yeah. Go
Just leave it
on.
at that.
Continue.
No, I will not expand on that. No. I was just trying to help.
Oh, okay.
Should the weed industry be more green?
Should the weed industry be more green?
It's weed.
As opposed to
What
brown.
does that mean?
He is way
More
too
green.
high.
You gotta ditch the swag and get with that green shit. Yes, you absolutely should
They
do.
investing in
Yeah, Wheelie's
plastic,
Pharmacy.
reusable jars, or
Dude.
anything that doesn't cost plastic.
Just
waste.
how about they just make shit that gets us high? Okay,
Yeah.
But you gotta
focus on that.
I feel like price versus quality.
Anybody will pay $5 extra because it's weed and you're good.
Well, maybe we could start with the ridiculous packaging at dispensaries. It's
That's
what it is.
insane, absolutely crazy.
What's wrong with
it's
it?
It's like you get this little tiny thing and it comes in a vial, inside a box, inside a tape shut.
It's like
inside
Amazon
a
packaging.
suitcase, and it's freaking it takes an engineering degree to just crack these things open.
And it is 420, so
Yeah.
And how about the whole like charade around charade around? I don't know why I said it like that. Like
Charade.
like Pink Floyd. That was like the
Settle
Pink Floyd
down.
song.
Settle down, Richie.
Charade, you are. Yeah. You got to go in there, and then you've got to like give them your ID, and then you've got to like I don't know how it is. Oh yeah, we're all in Maryland. I forgot where I am. So in Maryland, like you go into one of these fucking places, and they take your ID. Then like when you go to like buy it, they have like an iPad that you have to fill out, and then you have to put your fucking name in that shit. So they're like, yeah, you don't have to give like your full name. But so like you give your name, and
You've
then
already
you
swiped your driver's license.
They've already swiped. You're already fucking in the database. Then they have this like fucking locker system Maybe I'm just talking about a single one. Are they all like this? I don't know.
Seen this.
No.
Not when you
What are out-of-state residents, Clint, Dave, Dan, what are your experiences if you partake in going to these states?
I never would.
I don't either.
Because I'm a decent human being. But if I did, I would know that they have metal detectors as soon as you go in. But once you're through the metal detector, you show them your ID, you go through the line. Then there's a back room, which makes it feel like the good old days. But there's a back room that you go into where you're not allowed to take out your phone because it's legal and all.
Like Pulp Fiction backroom good old days, or
yeah.
what are you talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and same in that you have to use an ATM because they can't take your card or anything.
Right.
But,
you can't use a credit card at all.
But they won't bother to take Bitcoin ever.
Yeah.
None of them take Bitcoin.
That's what I'm saying. The whole thing is like this whole just farce that you're going through. It's legal, but you still got to jump through a million fucking hoops. It's not like going to the grocery store.
50% tax.
They put cops in the parking lot.
Literal 50% tax.
Why?
I didn't see anybody in the parking lot, fortunately. But
I've seen that frequently. They're like, well, we're going to have a cop outside directing traffic. That's no joke.
Dude, the traffic's going like 5 miles an hour anyways.
Clint or Dave, did you have any of these similar experiences or have you not partake?
So I've been a cannabis consumer my entire adult life. I didn't smoke it until I was, out of high school. So I was an adult when I discovered it. But yeah, it changed my life for the better. I am increasingly triggered by conservatives like Matt Walsh who are just irritated by the smell of it. So this is completely anti-freedom. But beyond all this, bros and sisters, I own a CBD shop in the town that I live. In a little CBD shop. And of course, as soon as I open it, you got the local yokel who comes to city council, where I'm there at city council meetings, going, we should get rid of this. It's a blot on our historic town and all this bullshit.
CBD?
Yeah, you posted
it's not
that
even real
recently.
weed.
Well, listen, we got to think locally, right?
That's like dog marijuana.
But the point is, CBD is regulated by the FDA like a grain. You can't regulate apples, sir, so they don't have the authority to tell me that I can't do business here. You can do that with marijuana and cannabis because it's still regulated as a Schedule I narcotic with the DEA. But I'll say this, and this is the part that really we should get through to people. You brought this up, man. You brought up cannabis. Here's what I would like the takeaway to be here if you want to talk about weed. I love smoking it. He's vaping it. I got my vape right here, and that's all cool and fun. That's not what God intended that plant for, okay? The endocannabinoid system is around for 500 million years. Early vertebrates have cannabinoids in them. You are supposed to interface with this. So if you don't take it in, and I'm not even talking about vaping, that's like, bro, you throw some dough down on the table and you blowtorch it, that's not bread. That's not how you're supposed to take it in. The way you're supposed to take it in an ideal world will be you have, like they did 300 years ago, the cash crop here, you just take it inside and you juice that shit or you eat that shit raw. How do you think we got to this advanced level? Put some thought into that. But as far as gifts from God, you are supposed to interface with this, and if you don't have it in your system, you're deficient. So consider, if you don't like getting high, that's cool. We're adults, we got shit to do, I get it. But consider having some CBD.
Still, just smoke some weed.
Yeah, I'll pass out my cards later if anybody's interested in CBD.
What would you consider an acceptable THC level? Like, I don't even know how to measure it, but how do I know if I'm, got enough?
Yeah. Oh, well, to me, man, I've never these kids these days. I'll show my gray bush for a minute, but these kids these days are just trying to get blitzed out of their mind. So I kind of empathize with the boomers that go, that's not like the Thai stick I had in my day. It's like, well, yeah, it certainly wasn't. These kids are fucked up, and I'm not trying to get fucked up. I'm trying to just tilt that vision a little bit. And if you got anxiety in your life, like we all do, because the state is fucked up, then you need a little thing that doesn't incapacitate you or make you, we got Dr. Irene here, something that'll destroy your liver, destroy your kidneys. Fuck that. There is a plant here for everybody. Money does grow on trees.
Preach, Dave.
I would say everybody get in there. Try something.
We've had 6 people basically praise the Mother Gaia's plant from heaven. I get additional anxiety from it, so I am going to be the odd man out here. Obviously, I think it should be legal. Clearly, everything should basically, but I am not a fan of it. I don't do it, and I never have been able to. I've done it 20, 30, 40 times, but it's 25% of the time, it's the greatest time ever. And oh god, can I tell you guys one high story because this is fun?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so This one time,
Please do.
This one time I was like 29. I just bought my first house, or somewhere around there, and my girlfriend brings home some weed, and we smoke it, and I have a fucking amazing experience. And I had Ben & Jerry's. I got banana split Ben & Jerry's. I'll never fucking forget this ice cream, bro. I'll never forget this ice cream. And I sit down. I have zero anxiety. We're watching like X-Men or some shit on my TV. Got a big old fucking flat screen TV, which was awesome. Double awesome than it had ever been before.
So far, you're describing my last night. Please continue.
No, I know. Look. I understand this is not a fucking fun story for people who smoke regularly, but just trust me, this is a fun story. This is a fun story for someone who only has like 5 good weed experiences.
Literally a whole pint of Ben & Jerry's. Please continue.
No, but hear me out.
Blame weed.
Hear me out.
Yeah, it's weed's fault.
So I end up eating the top, I shit you not, the top half of an inch of a quarter pint or whatever the fuck, the smallest little Ben & Jerry's thing. Because every bite I take, I turn to my girlfriend and I go, this bite tastes like chocolate. Because it's banana split. And then I turn and I go,
here's where we part ways.
I go, this bite tastes like banana. And she's like a hardcore stoner, so she's just like, you're so genius. She's like, you're so high out of your mind. This is ridiculous. But I had the time of my life, and I think that weed's great, and it should be legal, and everybody should. If you don't get a panic attack like me, you should do it as often as possible. That's my thesis.
That whole cannabinoid shit's real. Is that a thing? I just thought that was something stoners made up to like get me to.
By the way, there's all kinds of beautiful, like there's THC and CBD and CBN and all CBG, all these things. They're figuring this out fairly recently, but for a guy like Clint that gets paranoid, I totally get that. I know a lot of people like that. Try CBD because it doesn't get you high. It's not psychoactive, but you get the anxiety. Dude, I mean, seriously.
I don't know, guys. I don't know. I signed that DARE pledge when I was in school, and I just I don't want to break my commitment.
I can't wear the shirt.
Yeah, right, pretty much.
It's what was the documentary from the 30s that was
Reefer Madness.
Reefer Madness. Yeah.
Shit's hilarious.
Right, next thing you know, like you're going to be like having sex with a jazz musician or something. Right?
Yeah.
What was the one that we got?
Is that
Jazz cabbage.
As if that's not the reason I got high in the first place.
Wait, what was the thing that we like critiqued on an episode? It was
was that Captain? That was Captain Planet.
Yeah,
we did
it was
an episode
like a
of
Captain Planet, like anti-weed.
Nick Picone.
Yeah,
and
the
it
great
was like
Nick
the cartoon, like how weird. It was like cartoons. It's like, oh yeah, they're innocent. It's cartoons, and it was like fucking like Captain Planet in the first episode. Was like, holy shit, this is some like propaganda.
You're raping the planet, kids. Yeah. Put your rings together and save the earth.
Did you guys get DARE class in school?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that was fucking crazy. I trusted that cop, Officer Rosellis, when she came in. She's like, look, Dave, there's ice, there's crack, there's acid, and marijuana. And it's in this same, innocuous...
They're all the same.
The classic, the classic like gateway. Like,
I mean, cigarettes were also on that list, so,
Yeah.
Settle down.
Well, everybody was already smoking cigarettes, but the rest of it was bad.
And now they force medications on you that have never been, tested nearly as much as marijuana.
Trust the science, right?
Yeah, trust the science.
You can't patent a plant.
The science is still unsettled on marijuana, but trust the vaccine.
Captain Planet was a psyop, and I can't believe any of you fell for it.
Right. I never watched.
When our powers combine, the state controls everything. That's what they should have said.
Wow, Clint just based from birth, right?
That's right.
Pedophiles, media,
the banking system.
Hey, do a libertarian
way to
Captain
circle
Planet.
back to Jeff Epstein, man.
Yes. Get Lou Perez on this.
Let's go. That shit was hilarious. What was it? He recently just put out a tweet. It was pretty funny. It was like the 7,000 words you can't say.
Yes.
And it was like in the George Carlin style,
Yes.
and fucking brilliant, amazing. Lou Perez, shout out.
What are the 7,000?
Underrated.
Just everything. Like
say all of them now.
Yeah, exactly. He did the whole shtick of anything, and then just tried to explain it. It's like 7,000 words, but it was like over 100 hours of comedy because it's like these are all the words you can't say in today's society. It was fucking brilliant. Like Lou Perez, shout out, awesome. I think it was in Virginia. He came to
the Mises event.
Yeah, he came to a Mises event at George Mason. They couldn't have it at George Mason because it was during the COVID, so you had to trust the science. So they had it in a hotel lobby. in 2022 or some shit, whatever the fuck it was. But we're ranked, it's like, all right, let's go down the road to Virginia. And Lou Perez. It was Lou Perez, Adam Nutter, and
gross.
Wait, what? You don't like Adam Nutter, dude?
No.
It's cop.
Sounds like a stand-up lineup for the emo caucus.
He's a cop who
was Adam
dick
Nutter
jokes
a
for a
cop?
living.
He was a cop.
He was a cop?
Yes. Is this breaking news? Yeah. You
I
guys
didn't
give
know
Mike
that.
Tremont shit.
Hold on, dude.
How about Adam Nutter? Huh?
That's a serious accusation.
Not
sir.
the first cop.
Please produce the docs.
Is that true?
Again. Yeah.
Adam Nutter was a cop.
Adam Nutter.
Take my word
Adam
for it.
Nutter was a
Libertarian
cop.
comedian was a cop. All right, maybe we should ask Lisa. Lisa
he
might
gives me
have
shit
the
for being
information.
emo, but he's got fucking Nightmare Before Christmas tattoos on his forearms. So
Get out.
he's a hypocrite. He's a cop, and he
dude.
killed many dogs in his life. I've heard.
Wow. What?
I just heard it from somebody. I can't confirm.
It sounds like you're talking about Mike Tremont.
Well, what's that? Hey, Otto. Hey, yo.
I was waiting for someone
And
to
what's
say
that
it.
tell you about
Dog
Adam
killer.
Nutter?
Dog killer.
Come on.
Dog killer.
Got his ass.
Can we talk about Lisa?
Yeah,
Can we talk about Lisa?
Let's
We've
talk about
all
Lisa.
experienced Lisa.
Lisa, how many dogs did Mike
had a whole
Tremont kill?
segment where we asked. We had a whole segment where we asked Lisa questions.
Yeah, we did too. I'm pretty sure Dave and I broke that accidentally because we were like,
We
let's
broke it
try
too.
it. Oh, shh.
We asked him, when should you shoot a cop?
Yeah, and then it said like, please come out to the convention on blah blah blah. No, that's not the answer, sir. That's not the one we were looking for.
I could talk to Lisa for hours and hours and hours. I am just fucking in love with Lisa.
So those are
She's
not,
my favorite libertarian entertainment, which should say something about you guys.
I believe you.
That's right.
Well, I guess those are tuning in. I guess those are, I don't know, unaware
I think
of
it was
Lisa.
tuning in,
Should
dude.
we break it down? Well, I mean, everybody in this room understands, but
People are tuning out and then
break it down.
yeah, a lot of people are tuning like, out. So this Lisa thing, it's Mike Tremont's AI, correct? And
It's the first libertarian campaign run by AI.
Yeah.
Right?
And a cop.
Is that right?
Lisa has
first
pledged
cop?
eternal loyalty to Tremont.
Is he the first cop to run for office?
The robot AI working.
Bob Barr.
The robot slave to a cop. What could go wrong? Sorry.
anyways, we digress.
I think Gary Johnson as governor technically counts as a cop. Too.
That's true, yeah. That's true.
That's fair, right?
I'd say it's plenty fair.
He's like the top cop.
Yeah, right. It's like the president.
Like
He's the
RoboCop.
Hey,
commander
Trump's
in
on
chief.
trial.
Yeah.
So y'all are like big Trump supporters around here. I've heard.
Obviously,
'cause-
we're the Mises Caucus. I'm
Right,
so
yeah,
mad at
right.
Trump, I might set myself
This
on
is
fire.
mega.
Yes.
Well, hold on.
I mean, Otto, I've been wondering, has anybody ever
floated the flag
self-immolated
up.
in
It's
honor
over
of
there.
the Libertarian Party? I'm just curious.
Hey, DC's coming, man. You never know. Come out,
Hold
buy
on.
tickets, buy
Hold on.
package.
Speaking of the Trump trial, did you guys read the manifesto?
Yeah,
of the
dude,
guy
that
lit
was
him on
weird.
fire?
No.
That was weird as shit.
He was saying, I mean, he said a few things that were kind of near the truth,
Based.
but then he was saying, yeah, kind of based, but
Yeah.
then he was like,
Like the firmament?
cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, he said it's a fascist, right-wing, totalitarian. Yeah.
That was the main thing.
Is he dead?
Yeah,
Oh
he's
yeah,
dead now,
he's
real dead.
He's extra crispy.
He's definitely dead.
Are people comparing him to the last person who committed suicide?
I mean, they do have one
Like,
big similarity.
Yeah.
in a total legitimate way, and it almost like discredits the last guy that did it.
You know, last guy did it for
it goes
for the
total opposite issue. I did an entire episode dedicated to the first guy because I was so jarred by it. The second dude, I was like, I don't care at all. How crazy is that?
That's
like
politics in America.
you're now able to self-immolate, and I'm already over it.
Right.
Instantly.
It's like tally points. Who has the most self-immolations for their cause?
Yeah.
It's like,
Crazy.
So far
Who
we
can
have
we
none.
convince
Step
to
it up, guys.
self-immolate? That's what I want to know.
I'm like, you can't shock me anymore. I've already witnessed this like
Right.
45 days ago.
Right, this is the new political
Do
metric,
something new.
Right? Like, it's self-immolation.
How many burned bodies
Yeah.
does your cause have?
Yeah.
Jump into a fucking helicopter propeller or
I
whatever.
mean, Emo
sounds
Caucus should be
cool.
able to step that game up.
Right.
Yeah,
Emo
can we get
Caucus.
more
Then
cool
if somebody's killing
suicides?
themselves, why is it not the Emo Caucus?
Right.
I'll have Ben Weir.
Well,
I'll make
slit wrists
him do
aren't
it.
that cool, though. You know,
It's true.
It's
They
kinda
never were.
lame.
I get it though. You know.
So wait, hold on. What's your perspective on the last one? The last self-immolation.
No, the first. So for me, that was the first one I had ever witnessed in modern times, and I was really fucking shaken up by it. Particularly because he stood and he continued to scream "Free Palestine" with like his last dying breaths, and it was very
that
impactful.
fucked me up a little bit.
Yeah, it was very impactful. The second dude was just like, I'm obviously crazy, and I'm going to do this for no apparent reason. The first dude, I really was struck by the sincerity of the act. Yeah. That's my honest assessment. Yeah.
Yeah, not all self-emulators are equal.
Veteran,
So
apparently.
wait, that woman who did it apparently is still alive.
Wait, a
They
woman
just
did it?
no one followed up on it. That chick's alive.
Wait, which one?
The first one that did it like a year ago.
The bar staff wants to get the meat locker here. Hey, welcome. Maybe not. Never
All right, we're gonna close the meat locker door. I think he's telling the feds, hurry up, they're all in there.
Is that Tim Pool? Is that Tim Pool? Holy shit! Tim Pool, everyone. Tim.
I think so. Did anyone order food? Anybody order food?
Does anybody have food coming?
Tim.
Would anyone like to order food?
Does anyone want free food?
Did you place another order?
I did not place an order. In fairness, I haven't ordered anything today. But no, this staff here, Cold Classic Brewing, man.
Is great.
Yeah,
Who
this is
knew
awesome.
that it was so emo that Tim Pool
That's
wait
service,
staffs in his off hours?
The guy does look just like Tim Bull.
He's got a beanie on.
Holy shit, that's looking hilarious.
Well, yeah, you wonder what he did when he's not on the show.
Yeah. I mean, he's got so much downtime between his 12 shows. Yeah. Apparently, he runs
Between him reading the news to everybody, he's got to make some money.
This is actually true about Tim. Even though he works 1,000 hours per week, he still manages to gamble an extra 1,000 hours, and it's not an exaggeration. I've spent 24 hours like almost straight at the fucking poker tables. This guy is absolutely obsessed with Texas Hold'em. That's not a little joke.
He's a degenerate, like gambler.
He has a problem?
I mean, what you're saying? I would say he wins more than he loses, but that doesn't mean you don't have a problem.
That's fair.
Clint Russell with the scoop on Tim Pool's gambling
Old
problem.
Beanie Boy.
He doesn't hide it. If you listen to the show, he's just like, he will reference poker basically every night, and I'm like the only one sitting there going, yeah, dude, you got a problem, and everyone else is like, oh, that's interesting. He's got a fun little hobby on the side. I'm like, you don't understand. He would rather be playing poker than doing anything all the time.
Poker is a game of skill.
Sounds like
it's not
Michael
really
Jordan.
gambling. It's gaming.
Well, this is
like,
what he says. Yes,
right.
that's also what. That's also what.
True words of a gambling
Found our
addict.
degenerate gambler.
That's also what
Sports
Toad
betting.
says
You
when it
gotta
comes to
know
sports
you gotta
betting.
know football, man.
He goes, this isn't gambling. This is fucking skill. I was like, all right, yeah, whatever.
Hey, if you win, it's skill. If you lose, it's gambling.
Right.
Is it strictly cards, or does he go into sports ball?
No, all right, so this is pretty wild, but he will
Clint's actually his bookie.
Yeah, no. he will walk in and he will throw I've witnessed this. This is not bullshit at all. And I know it sounds totally bizarre. He walked in to a roulette table, put $100 on a single number, hit, and then gave half of it to the dealer. I've never seen anything like it. He won $3,500 on a single spin and then tipped out $1,750.
A real taxpayer right there.
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Real Israel
That was his fair share, I guess.
He was protesting, I guess. But
That was his fair share.
yeah. He likes to gamble. That's
Was it
all.
at least a Native American casino?
Yeah.
Nah, not the ones in West
is that-
Virginia.
Yeah, I think so.
Is that land back?
I think so, yeah.
Wait, in West Virginia, they got
How much
yeah.
how much has Tim repaid us in debts to the Native American casinos to
I
make
feel
up
like
for
we're
all of the
even.
atrocities? Okay, I think we're good.
All right, we're going back to the Redskins.
Completed.
All right.
We got the Redskins back.
To the Redskins.
Hell, as an Eagles fan, fuck, that song is great.
I was wondering how far you'd go with that. I was
It's
like,
a
all
great
right.
song.
I give Alex singing "Hail the Redskins" on video.
I'm thinking that, dude. It was at your dad's memorial service, and it was all your whole family, and it was just like he died, and they took it from him. They took the Redskins from my father, and like your whole family.
Yeah.
Like we're literally like hail to the Redskins.
That's a tradition. Every wedding, every funeral, we sing that in our family. I swear to God.
Dude, I was like, as an Eagles fan, I was
No,
like,
they're
that's
not.
fucking based.
They sing "Hail to the Commanders" now.
That doesn't even rhyme, dude. It doesn't even work. Like,
No, it doesn't work at
rhythmically.
all. That was Dan Snyder's middle finger to the fan base. But anyway, I digress. No one wants to hear about sports ball in this room.
Yeah, nobody wants to talk about sports ball.
Can I change topics?
Of course, that was my
question.
Let's talk about the Lakers, yeah?
No, I have a question.
Absolutely not.
I want to hear between.
Let's talk about the Mo's.
What's your name, sir? Sorry.
James.
Okay.
Talk about disrespect.
I was on your show once, and you were very pro open border at the time. I remember. I don't know if you still are, but I'm curious.
Let's
your
fight.
thoughts between you and Clint.
Let's go. All right. Clint, be prepared to be called a communist.
Let's fight. Let's do it.
Let's go.
I'm so excited right now. About to blow my Liberty load.
To Babs' credit, he was like, let's get like Rechtenwald, and then let's get like Chase, let's get like open borders and like control, and let's like fucking
Throw
just
down.
fight, like throw
4
down.
hour
So
throw
here we
down.
go. We could this could be like some 4-play.
12 white guys screaming about borders. Let's go.
Everyone check your autism.
Not a minority.
We used to do this at my Klan rallies.
Okay, let's just start. First, raise your hand if you support government checkpoints.
What's that?
Raise your hand if you support government checkpoints. Right. Well, we have one.
I do. At the
And that's
border.
the audience. We got the audience too.
Anybody in the audience?
Oh, don't involve them in our autistic.
One hand. All right.
I do.
All right,
At the
Babs,
border.
Continue.
I already knew it was going to be unpopular. I'm not fucking here for popularity.
All right.
Here's the reality. You have tens of billions of dollars that are being funneled from the U.S. taxpayer to the United Nations, which then turns around through their Immigration 2030 plan to expedite the illegal immigration crisis. The illegal immigration rate throughout my entire life was 300 to 500,000 annually. It is now 3 to 5 million. It has 10x'd over the past 5 years. That is not organic. It is not at all organic. And anybody that's pretending that it is absolutely lying to you. And to argue in favor of open borders is to completely diminish the state's role in expediting this process. It will ultimately undermine liberty in this country. I reject it entirely.
Yeah, totally.
Clint, Babs and I get into it, and I come off like a bordertarian on the podcast because this is not natural. And like the Lolberts like chafe, like, oh, it's just like our grandparents. Like, no. There wasn't when our great grandparents came over here, there wasn't a fucking United Nations. I mean, we were literally murdering the rest of the Indians. You know what I mean? Like, that's a different fucking time
We
period.
didn't have time for the UN. We were killing Indians.
Yeah, exactly. The United Nations were murdering off the last of the Indian tribes.
All right.
Five
bordertarians probably agree on this. I want to hear his stance more because he's more.
Well, I'm a libertarian, so that means that I don't endorse the use of force or fraud on peaceful people.
Okay.
So I
yeah.
start
Really quick, I just
that.
want to say the question was, do you support government checkpoints, right?
Right.
Okay, so if you guys have driven around like the Southwest, like I didn't raise my hand because I've driven through 49 states. And there's just government checkpoints in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Dude, it happened to me. It happened to me.
Mexico, all this shit. So I'm absolutely not for that. But
No,
to Clint's
it
point,
happened-
no, bro. Absolutely, like while we live in a statist paradigm, that's probably going to be the last thing to go.
It happened to me a couple of years ago coming back from Montreal. Like one of my good buddies got married, and we were coming back from Montreal, and we were coming back, and it was like up in the Finger Lakes where all the pedophiles and all the elite hang out. But let's not go there. But we're driving back.
So what were you doing there?
No. We were driving through. I was driving, and we were about, I don't know, maybe about like an hour in. You know, it was very like, hey, here's your checkpoint, your passport, everything good. Go. Oh, okay. Who's driving? Okay, all right, everything's good. You got your maple syrup, rock and roll. Fuck yeah. And we continue on, and then we're like, and then the interstate slows down. I'm like, guys, this is a fucking checkpoint. Shut the fuck up. It's, you know what? Remember that video? Shut the fuck up Friday. This is go time, boys.
Don't talk
Let's
to
fucking
cops.
go. But then my statist douche nozzle friends were like, two of them were like, well, what if it's a terrorist? I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like, shut up. It is shut the fuck up Friday. I'm driving. This is my vehicle. We are not talking to cops. You just shut the fuck up, and we're gonna keep driving.
Was he worried if the cop was a terrorist?
He was worried. No, they were just like giving.
Right.
They were just giving statist fucking
cop
arguments
is a
at that
terrorist.
point.
Can I interject?
Oh, go ahead. Yeah. But yeah, they were setting up a checkpoint, and we rolled through. That's it.
Okay.
That's it. We got
At some point, I would like to hear James's stance on this as the only person who disagrees. But go ahead.
I disagree
point is,
too, but
my
I'll
point
let
is
James
like,
speak.
well, his retort gets an applause line to say, I am a libertarian, and hence case closed. he didn't actually contend with any of my arguments. So I would like for you to do that.
He will.
Well, no, like, well,
Dave did
all
cut
the-
him off.
Like, it sounds like you, from what you're telling me, government's out of control.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We agree. They agree.
So, do we want to give them more power or less power? So you're saying government's so fucked up, we better have more government at the border.
I'm saying that they're making a concerted effort to let the floodgates be open. That is a government
Probably
policy.
True. Oh no,
That is a
there's
policy.
people that want all kinds of fucking chaos. The fucking Klaus Schwab types, they thrive on
Yeah,
chaos.
Doesn't this remind you guys kind of like when you
That's a
sprinkle
granted.
a gun or you sprinkle some crack on the criminals? So if you flood the country with, I don't know, 20 million, 30 million illegal, this is a legal definition, right? You're illegal, so you're, by definition, this
So
will
you're
create
using statist rhetoric.
This will create more of the bureaucracy. It will empower DHS, the border patrol, all this shit, and that's what they want. So they're flooding everybody. They're flooding all the states. Right?
They're definitely trying to cause chaos. They're like flying people in. They're doing.
They're
They're
literally
paying for
fluing
stuff.
people.
Over 300,000 over
That's
the
not
past
a
12
question.
months.
I think we all agree
It's not a
that
joke.
government is out of control and that the powerful elites can thrive.
Okay.
And through their destruction.
But
The only question is, well, what do we do about it, right? And so, do we respond by sacrificing our libertarian principles and allowing a stronger
There is
border
nothing.
presence?
There is nothing that's misaligned with libertarian principles to say that I cannot be robbed by my own government to flood me with migrants. It is not
Okay,
libertarian.
so,
It is
all
not
right, you're
libertarian
right.
to argue in favor of
nobody's
that.
saying you should be.
Well, you are, because you're saying that I'm not a libertarian for saying that this is wrong.
No, well, the wrong part is the stealing from you.
Yeah. I think
Okay.
you both agree. That's the thing. It's nuanced.
Well, I don't know if they do agree though, because you're advocating for like more border patrols.
Yeah,
right?
I think there has to be border control at this junction because
so.
they are in
that
fact
is not what Babs would say.
No, he would say that you should defund the UN, I guess, which I would agree with. But the reality is that's not going to happen. So,
But
you have the GOP that's willing to at least give lip service to border control,
like Texas, for example.
right? So I would turn towards states' rights and say the states that reject immigration, this unmitigated immigration disaster, which is what it is, I would support them in that. And a lot of libertarians, particularly the open borders types, would tell them, well, you're a statist piece of shit, and how dare you?
One thing that came up in so this is just very recent, and it came up today. Defend the Guard, and it was like that's when Texas was enforcing the border, and a couple of these fucking delegate.
Stop name calling. Just get to the point.
Well, they basically.
Hold on, get Tierra a mic. Get her a mic.
Yeah. Get Tierra a mic. But I guess some of these Democrats were reserved in like, well, what about the border, or what about January 6th? Should we send troops to January 6th? It's like, yeah, well, they asked for that, but they didn't allow it. They don't understand the 10th Amendment because they're a bunch of commie socialists, and it's like, the states' rights is a thing. 10th Amendment exists. That's
kind of my question for James. So Texas wasn't suing Mexican immigrants. They were suing the federal government for the ability to protect their border. Are you pro that or anti that?
That sounds like this weird battle between central planners that I can't even fathom.
But isn't it but no, guys,
this is like,
if the idea is to decentralize,
should Barbie sue Ken
if the idea
for-
is to get the power as close to the individual as you can, is that not an upgrade to give Texas the control over the fence?
I can't even speak on that. I
Actually,
just start
I feel
from
like
the
you could.
perspective of
I would say,
let's just
honestly,
leave people the fuck alone.
Tyranny is more effective on the local level than it is on the federal level. I mean, it's a lot easier for like I've only ever been pulled over by local cops or
You should-
at the
you should
most
ask the
state
people of
cops,
Iraq
right?
if that's the case.
I've never been pulled over by an FBI agent. It's always on the local level.
Well, ask Ross Ulbricht.
Yes.
No, it just depends on.
But you could go to your city council
I'm not
and know
cool
your
enough-
sheriff
I'm not cool
and
enough to
control
be pulled
that.
over by a Fed yet.
Right, like it depends on how good you are at being a libertarian.
But I'm saying, like,
They just haven't got you.
Rise the ranks.
They just don't care about you yet.
I mean, like states' rights versus whatever. It's all like it doesn't matter. It's like if there's government involved, it's bad. Like
I'm gonna do something.
They're gonna like on the local level. They're gonna have more power. They're gonna be able to listen to less shit and get away with more shit. Like All of it just has to go.
Jared, this is the first time you left your home in probably like a couple weeks. Just
to
be real.
This is his shtick.
Like, to be real, dude.
He's not scared of the feds.
You were like, oh, COVID. I don't know. I've worked remotely before COVID. Like, I don't know about this tyranny happening. I don't know.
I'm fortunate to be able to work remotely.
Yeah,
I
did go out last night.
I'm gonna do something.
Great dinner.
God damn it. I'm
here now. But that's besides the point.
Clint,
besides
something to say.
I'm going to do something libertarians never do and offer a compromise position. Can you at least agree with me, given that you have already acknowledged that my arguments are in fact valid, that it is not a good idea for the libertarians? He did. He acknowledged that what I'm pointing out is true.
I mean, there's all kinds of problems out there with government. I'm totally down to acknowledge that. Is that what I'm acknowledging?
No, that's a fantastic way of dismissing my actual arguments. But
that's what I'm saying. I don't think he acknowledged.
No, I said that the immigration rate has 10x'd over the past 5 years. There's no way you can possibly argue that's organic. I don't think
it's not natural.
I don't think that it does the party, our movement, our ideology any service, any benefit to just when that is pointed out to you to go, I can't even engage with this. Like, this sounds like some statist bullshit. I can't even no. You have to at least, you have the people that you live around are genuinely concerned about the immigration issues. And if your answer to them, given that this is in fact a globalist plot that is coming from the UN using your taxpayer money, if you're not willing to acknowledge that, I feel like you are intentionally trying to ignore their very righteous complaints. And if you just say, if your only retort is, I don't believe in state-sanctioned borders, well, then you are not engaging.
But wouldn't it be better to argue for more libertarian solutions, like
I already
defund? Well, I'm not accusing you. I'm not talking to you. I'm just talking generically. Like, defund the welfare state, defund, end the drug war, so that these people will be less motivated to come over here.
Defund the UN.
Why not
in
go
the
after
military-industrial
all that
complex?
first?
The problem with that is, man, is that we can advocate for those things, but welfare is very popular. So, that's not just an uphill battle. That's a hell of an understatement.
I mean, all this stuff is popular, but exactly.
So we can
that's the
advocate
point.
for
It's
it, but
we're not going to win any.
I'm
sorry, but if anyone here is deluded enough to think you're going to win any elections on a major scale, you're not. Yeah. So the best you can do is use the party as a platform, except for this guy. Mike's going to win all of it. He's winning every goddamn thing. But
first libertarian senator, woo!
Aside from Mike, you're using it as a platform to express libertarian ideas. There's already plenty of Republicans that are talking about border control and build the wall.
The left is.
Oh
really
yeah, Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is very pro-border.
No,
So
they think this is a plot by billionaires to suppress wages.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, that's not entirely untrue.
No, yeah, it's right. It is to Clint's point. It is not entirely untrue because
that's not the driving factor though. This is Cloward Piven. They are trying to overthrow this country.
Well, let's just assume that. I agree with you.
My point is
it's completely nefarious, and they're trying to cause all kinds of mayhem and mischief. Okay, that's not controversial, right? There's no point in going on and on about what Klaus Schwab has in mind for us, okay? We all know it's a bunch of
run a container.
But as the border is being flooded, how can we advocate for that?
You eat the bugs.
The question is, what's the best defense against it? And as a libertarian, I say, well, okay, we've got the non-aggression principle, okay, which means, okay, here comes Jose. I'm inviting him to come onto my farm and pick tomatoes. Right, and somebody wants to get in his way. They're initiating force and violence, and since I'm against that, I feel like.
So you're pro-invitation policy, but not just anybody gets to be here because
every business with an open sign in their window is an invitation. There's no problem with invitations. This country's full of invitations. I personally invite anyone to come be my customer. Anyone to come offer me a service I can buy. I invite everyone. This is no problem.
Question from the audience, Tiara. Yes.
Question from the and I'm not being facetious. This is an actual question. I'm glad to be able to discuss it with you all.
Hell yeah.
The thing about podcasts for me is I don't like people just talking at me on the radio. I want to engage in conversation.
Hell yeah.
So my question is, why is open borders such a problem now when America was built on people coming from Germany, from Ireland, from England? Y'all made it open borders then. And your lovely founding fathers are so right and so great back then, but now you have problems with other people from a different border for different reasons. Why?
Solid question. Thank you, Tiara.
I love
Tiara.
I
Also,
love-
Tiara, how's the camera going?
I love natural immigration. For the record, if people
Sure.
want to come here
Thank you.
legitimately and like start a home, like that, start a family, start a business, work for a business, like I have no problem with this. And I love being in a multicultural society. That's something that I'm pro that. I don't want to move to New Hampshire. Right, I want to live near Philly. I don't want to.
Tiara's been there. Like we
So
went
Tiara,
to New Hampshire, and she's just like, Alex, I'm counting how many black
I wear
people are up here.
Birkenstocks. I smoke weed. I drive a Prius. I'm not the alt-right, and I am not a bordertarian because I'm trying to keep this America strong or whatever that.
I've been in that
that's
Prius.
Not me.
He's not
that's
lying.
not my MO. But to Clint's point, and I think that my issue is that unnatural immigration for the purpose of destabilizing country and culture is detriment. Like you will die. The country will die from that. It won't be able to sustain the system.
Well, how do you
if
respond?
you guys enjoy
How do you respond to it is the question. We all agree that they're trying to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
The question is,
But they're trying
do
to
you
fuck it up
respond
with
more
immigration.
freedom or more tyranny.
That's a double-edged sword.
We're just advocate. Like what I'm really asking for is an emergency bandage, like because it's too detrimental right now. So we can say, oh, I prefer
What do you
privatized
mean
borders, or I
detrimental?
prefer open.
I'm not sure.
I
what
mean
you
that we shouldn't be just debating what we think
Babs,
is
we're
better.
beyond,
Open
like-
borders, closed borders.
You're
Like,
going to
we're
have
beyond that discussion.
You're going
Like-
to have 40 to 50 million migrants over the next decade. If you think that they're not going to offer them
Are they
amnesty,
taking our podcaster jobs? Like, what am I afraid of?
I mean, we're already doing this for free. They might do it for like I don't know, like
negative money.
Wait,
They're gonna start paying us.
James, podcast for us. That'd be great.
It's not worth engaging with him, so I'm going to engage with her question. The issue is not that these immigrants are any different per se. The issue is that the state is extraordinarily different. You now have incentive structures in place that are incentivizing people to immigrate to this country. When you came to America in the 1900s and the 1800s,
No, not me. Don't bring me.
that's not what I meant. I feel like no one's willing to engage. Honestly, this is amazing.
It's 420 at a Libertarian convention. You get
God
what you
bless
get.
Tiara.
Anyways, I don't know what you're saying.
He's very sorry.
Do not bring her to this country, Clint.
No,
do not.
It's Clint's fault.
The point is, first off, we didn't have open borders back then either, and secondarily, we had an extraordinarily harsh nativistic attitude.
you're drinking with the weed.
I can't even hear. We had a very nativistic attitude towards the immigrants. There was immense racism against the Italians and the Irish and everything else. So this is not a new phenomenon. What is new is the pace of immigration. And that is the point that apparently is very unpopular to talk about amongst libertarians, but it is extraordinarily unusual. It is man-made crisis, and it will ultimately undermine the Bill of Rights, which is still the largest document that enshrines our libertarian values in this country. Regardless of all of you in here that will laugh off the Constitution and say that it's just a fucking piece of toilet paper, in the judicial system, it has ultimately defended our liberties quite a few times.
Yeah.
Why don't we jump ahead to okay, we understand they're trying to cause all kinds of mischief and mayhem, and go to what exactly are you saying? Are you saying point guns at people that try to cross over without government permission?
That's Lisa's
Okay,
stance.
well, as a libertarian, I'm against that. Central planners can be for that. I don't know what else is there to talk about.
But the reality is that your money is being taken by threat of violence as well, and it's being used to encourage the immigration. So
we should argue against that. We should argue against them taking the money from us.
Well, I've said repeatedly,
I'm not talking about you though. I'm just saying, generally speaking, it's all these arguments that get into the nitty-gritty of they've stolen our money, they've raped our people, they've locked them in cages.
They're trying to cause mayhem.
They're doing all sorts of shit. Well, they should do it differently. They should do X, Y, Z. Yes, but
But do you notice that he's not advocating for, you know what, I just feel this way about this issue, so increase government. He's saying, this is an emergency for the people that live here. What about national sovereignty? What about your place? What about your culture? Do you value Western values?
He said he wants to point guns at peaceful people.
I value.
Respond to that as a libertarian.
I value what I value.
How do you point guns at peaceful people as a libertarian? Go ahead and tell me.
Okay, I'll tell you.
if they attack you.
When the federal government robs me, hands it to a vagrant to come and break into my house, I will shoot that motherfucker.
That's not a peaceful person.
Yeah.
Okay, but it's the same concept, though.
No. A peaceful person is somebody who's like, yeah, I would like to take that job, and you're saying point a gun at them. So explain it to me and then say that's libertarian.
I already did.
No, you're saying you advocated, but explain how a libertarian points a gun at a peaceful person.
You're dismissing the incentive from which they are arising. Yeah. If you're not willing to address
that,
well. Okay.
They're still peaceful.
If you're going to say it doesn't matter, then that's ridiculous.
Walking down the street is not a crime. It's not an act of violence or aggression against anyone.
Forget legal definitions and crimes. What right do they have to be here? What grants?
Same right as you and I.
Any person.
No, they don't. It's not their property. They didn't pay taxes here. They don't live here. They don't have family here. There's no claim to ownership.
Well, hold on, that's status talk.
I love this.
Taxes does not grant you property. Taxes is just you getting robbed by the government. That doesn't give you.
Do you feel like a conscientious objector that just has to fucking take it? That's how I would feel like if I had that position. You just have to take it.
I mean, I'm not impacted at all. Like, what are you talking about?
You guys keep saying like, well, if you we should advocate for privatized borders. Like, well, what does that do to the mega emergency?
I don't think there should be. I don't think there should be a country or a nation or anything. I mean,
I get it, bro. We're all anarchists, so we all agree what Ancapistan would look like in the very real right now. Though.
Right. I'm going to argue towards anything that brings us closer to that. And adding more cops at the border doesn't do that.
There's already enough cops at the border, bro. They're going this
get
way
rid
to
of
the
them.
bus.
Start firing
this way
them.
to the bus.
Start firing all of them.
I would love that, but like, all right. In lieu of
then let's
we can advocate for firing them.
6 of the UFOs.
I understand.
I would still be pro Texas being able to do what they could.
Audience tired of this.
As the fence sitter, moderator, whatever, here in the middle.
All right, hold on. We should
open borders, guys. I'm curious of like. Do you agree that we should get rid of welfare and all that stuff before we open the border, or is it just open the border, free will, see what happens?
It's just get rid of anything whenever you can get it. Like, look, you're not gonna. Nothing we do is gonna matter, anyways. Like, as far as like, you're not gonna like influence some guy to hire more border control people, right?
Collapse the
so you might as well
let him in, see what happens.
I mean. In this context, I would say argue for any reduction of government that you can. It doesn't particularly matter. Just argue for it. Keep arguing for it, and then hopefully it makes an impact. Like realistically, you're not going to convince them to tighten the border or untighten the border.
So you think in cities where the Second Amendment has been undermined dramatically,
you should be advocating
that abolishing the police is a good idea.
Let me
you should be advocating
this other question though. This is just intolerable.
We're getting another realm.
Hold on, you got Babs cooking.
Let him cook.
My point.
Like, well, first we have to get rid of welfare, right? It's like saying like, well, government's terrible, but until government stops being terrible, we're going to need government to be more terrible.
Or at least
it's the most retarded
rights.
Bullshit I've ever fucking heard. Okay, my freedom of association doesn't kick in as soon as government starts being nice.
James, you're wearing a Ron Paul 2012 shirt, bro. I was at that event. Do you know what? Ron Paul would not be on your team. Do you know that?
I don't agree with Ron on everything. A lot of people
but you're wearing that shirt,
stuff.
so when you walked in, I was like, oh man, me and this motherfucker are going to agree with everything. This is going to be the shit.
I love Babs.
Wait, you wear band shirts. Do you agree with everything?
Come on, bro. I'm just trying to make light because
Babs and I can't part ways with this issue a lot on a podcast because mainly there is a thing. There's a 10th Amendment. It's there for a reason. There's sovereignty. There's and you can't equate open
individual
borders.
Sovereignty, you mean?
There to a point, but you can't say what we're living under right now.
You can't do shit until they come to your doorstep. Apparently, you can't do anything.
No, you can't have open borders in a welfare state, and now you have like you can make those arguments a couple years ago. You can't have like who the fuck was it like. I don't know, The Economist. Like, you can't have open borders in a welfare state. But now we have, like, tenfold welfare state. It's like, at what point do you say, No, this does not exist, and then they're not going to adopt our culture because, like, the whole Mises Caucus thing is like culture is downstream from politics. It's like these people, they're a bunch of fucking.
What's
commies.
our culture, though?
They're a bunch of commies.
Like the culture of property rights, the culture of individual liberty.
No
How about that?
Fucks. Like this is my pushback on Babs. They give no fucks.
Wait, what commies though? Like all the Hispanic people that I know are
they're
the most capitalist people.
They're the good ones.
The good ones. The good
I don't know them all. But I'm just saying.
I'm just saying the ones that I know happen to be very capitalist, very hard work.
Okay, all right.
Wait a minute.
Hold on. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
To kind of like wrap this in the bow, it's like, and I agree with Babs. It's like if you were trying to destabilize the West, if you were trying to take us down, you would basically flood us, take us over with a bunch of motherfuckers that don't give two shits about our culture, about Second Amendment, First Amendment, 10th Amendment, anything. And that's what you get. Now, you can't equate that to natural
immigration. Has anybody seen one of these people?
Like
they're flooding my culture and destroying
All right.
Let's get off this
We
topic.
have narrowed this down. This started as a one side and another side. We've narrowed it down to you guys fighting amongst yourselves, which you can take back home, do with whatever you want.
Let's do it.
You started this shit.
I know.
This is your bullshit. You know how
All
correct
right.
I've been?
Yes. That's what
Dan
I do.
Stas is the devil.
What
I'm
does
a
Otto
propagandist. Yes.
Let's wait.
Now.
What does Otto want to talk about?
Ooh.
What is
The
Otto
moon
passionate
landing.
about?
Ooh.
Have you or a loved one been injured by some fuck nuggets, reckless driving, a tumble at your shitty job, or some other form of dumb shit outside of your control? Well, fear not, because today's episode is sponsored by a lawyer. Lone Star Injury Attorneys is an award-winning personal injury law firm that achieves maximum results for its injured clients. Max the Axe is not just a lawyer, but a hardcore Mises Caucus libertarian and also a big supporter of this show and all of our bullshit. Max is the best personal injury lawyer in Texas, but don't judge him by his occupation or location. Max is an avid defender of liberty and justice in whatever state you got fucked in. If you've been injured and your ass needs saving, go with the pros at Lone Star Injury Attorneys. Visit LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com or Google Max the Axe. Consultations are free and you don't pay a single dime unless you win. Once again, go to LoneStarInjuryAttorneys.com and get your ass covered.
Otto, what are your thoughts on the moon landing?
The what?
The moon landing. Has man landed on the moon?
The moon landing?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, have you guys seen the new Channing Tatum movie that's coming out?
No.
It's literally them. They're like, hey, we're going to the moon, but we can't prove it, so we're just gonna fake this shit. And they hire Stanley Kubrick, and it's literally
They had
I just
one
saw
of
the
those.
preview for it.
They had one of those right
it-
around the moon landing.
What's
time,
it
too,
called?
but I don't
Yeah.
remember the name of the movie, but yeah, it sounds like a spin-off of the original disclosure that they gave.
What's the name of the film?
I don't know. I'm too retarded. I don't remember. But no, like that's exactly how I feel. I feel like we probably had the dumb, stupid technology to go there, but with absolutely no forms of communication. They're basically just looking at in Houston, they're just sitting there looking at okay, we got 15 minutes until they should be doing this now. And when they had no clue it was going to happen. And I think that they were just like, well, fuck this. Like, we need to have a backup plan. Let's fake this moon landing video. And I think that whole shit is fake.
Nice.
Based. Now, we don't. Let's pan around here. I'm moving my camera. I want to get Clint's view because he posted something on Twitter recently where he was like, "I just came up with this new idea that man didn't land on the moon," and I was like, "Bro, welcome."
I literally didn't say that.
Really? No.
Bullying you all day, bro.
Clint's just re-pioneering everything.
And,
I
we didn't go to the moon.
I said the more I research it, the more doubtful I become.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which makes
Which
you like
was-
10 years
That's
behind
a
the rest.
bold
of us.
statement.
Which was me not taking claim by any stretch of the imagination for the thesis.
So,
I just think
as
that the
somebody
government
who
probably lied.
McCarthyist interrogated Jacob Hornberger on not doing his own research on COVID soon
Right.
enough, it happened in the late 60s. Early 70s, and just now you're like, bro,
Well,
I'm just now figuring this out
wasn't
because I decided not to look
wasn't
into it.
born, so that. But yeah, I've doubted it since the '90s, to be honest. But I've just the more time passes, the more you're proven how duplicitous the government is and the media. It becomes more and more feasible that they could actually get away with it.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason that I'm like, all right, maybe they fucking actually pulled that off. What has always perplexed me, what has always kept me off of the full, no mooner or whatever the fuck, is that
You guys believe in the moon.
We got ourselves a no moon.
We can't get past the firmament.
Yeah. Well, see, I haven't gone that route either, but
We'll get you there.
I haven't seen.
He's still a glober, dude.
Yeah, I'm still a glober. I'm still retarded. But I've always found it perplexing that the Russians, Chinese, other foreign nations didn't adamantly oppose it or even present evidence that we lied about it. That doesn't make sense to me. Like it seemed like they would. So that's the reason I'm a fence rider.
Now, Clint, they did not oppose it. Yeah, there was a space race. They did not oppose it. They did not push back on the propaganda that said that we went to the moon. But also, there was the space race between us and Russia and China and everybody. And then we got there. We went a couple of times. Then we stopped. And everybody else gave up. Everybody else gave up. So you can say, like, why didn't they oppose it? Why didn't they call it out? There have been, like, Chinese whistleblowers who have called it out and stuff. But why didn't they keep trying to go? For 50 years, no man has gone back between China, Russia, everybody who was racing.
It's not that far away. You can actually see it at nighttime. It's just like, it's just over,
you can see the sun too, bro. It's very far away.
Yeah, they're both in the same sky. I don't know.
Babs' favorite oligarch is Elon. He actually believes those rockets being shot off into space are real. He's on the waiting list for a Cybertruck. I mean,
I feel like the gauntlet's being thrown at me to like argue in favor of us actually going to the moon. That's not going to happen. I don't think that we win. I just don't know definitively.
We're just trying to break you.
No, I'll say this is one of those things. Like I didn't start to think about this until recently either. But then when it's like fossil fuels came from dinosaurs. That's fucking ridiculous. I just took it for until just a couple years ago.
Dinosaurs weren't real.
But that's
a total psyop.
But
all those museums are plaster.
Considering what you know about the technology at the time and the incentive that the state had. Come on, of course.
Get into it, bro.
Oil's not real.
I mean, you got to think what was going on at that time. There's a really good documentary.
Carbon isn't real.
There's a really good documentary. A funny thing happened on the way to the moon. I mean, you got to think what
I
was
watched
going
the entire fucking thing. Why do you think I'm so skeptical?
Yeah, right. I mean, there was a lot going on. You had, like, racism. You had Kennedy just got his head blown off. You had his brother soon after murdered. You had race riots left and right. You had this murderous regime and wars going left and right. You had communism. All throughout, you had the Cold War. You needed an America.
It literally feels like right now.
You needed an America fuck yeah moment.
No, obviously that was the incentive for the deception. If it was a deception,
right?
Someone answer me why the fucking Russians wouldn't go. They're lying. We're still gonna beat them there. They didn't do that. That's weird.
Well,
so what do you think explains that?
The curtain.
I think that they think we went.
Honestly, but don't you think, dude? We've been using their spacecraft and using their
we use their fucking space station, all that.
Right? Like they seem like they're ahead of the game. So to your point, I think.
So you're saying there's a black program like Operation Paperclip?
Antarctica, bro.
I don't know.
They're all working on
it. Maybe some,
I'm just
like,
saying.
There's
It's more complex.
Space programs.
Secret Nazi base.
Operation High Jump, Operation Fishbowl. There's lots of them.
I'm just saying it's more complex than yes or no. Like it's the same thing with COVID. Who the fuck was actually responsible for the creation and the release? It was done in a Chinese lab. It was done with U.S. funding. Fauci and EcoHealth, it came through the British for sure. It was through the fucking UK. That's MI6. That's CIA. That's CCP. I don't know who the fuck's responsible. Were they working in tandem? Why are they not, pointing the finger really aggressively today? They're not. That implies
because they're all complicit.
Right.
So it didn't come from a pangolin?
No.
Or bat soup?
Definitely not. So my point is. Like we don't understand at the highest level how these governments work together. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Clint, you've been like on point with like all that, with everything, with your research and everything, like just like tracking this COVID shit. Oh, passing to the left. We got some beers.
I got plenty. But yeah, that's my point. Is like we don't understand at the highest level how these organizations work. I got one. Thank you. And I feel like people, even the conspiracy theorists, try to simplify it. And they just like a particular libertarians in America, they will just say everything is the responsibility of the FBI and the CIA. That's not reality. There's another fucking 7 billion people on the planet. They are definitely doing some fucked up shit too. We need to like weigh all of it, all of the chicanery against each other, and try and assess the truth. And I think that's
a control grid. There's a control grid, and they're all part of it.
Yes. I mean, I still think that the CIA and the FBI are the biggest players, along with the military-industrial complex and the State Department. But, like, of course, Russia has major hand in geopolitical reorganization and shit like that. Anybody with 6,000 nukes is going to. Assuming nukes are not fake.
Yeah. Are they or not? I don't know. Do we go?
I have no opinion
go there,
on
Dan,
that.
or no?
I still think they're real. I wish
they
they
weren't.
weren't.
Get just basic moon landing from James. Moon landing? Man land on the moon? No?
You know, I'm pretty sure it happened. You know, I don't
Oh
really
boy.
I don't see.
Oh boy. Ooh.
You know, there's
As a libertarian, let me tell you.
Around here.
You just trust the government so much. You trust the government
That's
so
it.
much
That's the end of my argument. I don't have to make one.
Borders, my borders, but the moon landing.
It was a great day for America.
I mean, what does it really fucking matter, anyways?
Who took the American flag down, James? Was it you? Who took the American flag down?
There was some hate speech over there.
Yeah. Okay.
So wait, James would go to the moon just to take down the flag.
James literally, before we went live, he literally took down the American flag in here because he's like, "Can we take down the hate speech?" And I was like, "It's okay. None of us are flaggots here. Like we can take it down. Like it's."
So James, would you say it's one of America, your patriotic homeland's greatest accomplishments that we landed a man on the moon?
Well, this "we" thing is a could some people get over there? Like I said, it's not that far away. You can fucking see that shit.
Yes, you can. It almost makes you think it's closer than
I
they
don't think
say.
it's that hard to get to. Like seriously, I think it's amazing that it took them that long to do it.
So basically, what James is saying is that the Nazis were really smart, and that's where this rocket technology came from.
You think it's amazing it took us that long to do it? We had just figured out how to fucking fly 50 years earlier, and we're like, let's go to the moon.
The hubris and the ego, like we literally just the Titanic sank on its first voyage, you know, like
Wright brothers,
the fraction of the computing power of
Orville and Redenbacher.
First time, that's our guys.
Nailed it.
It's a miraculously
with less technology than what we have on our smartphone. We just pulled it the fuck off with
James,
no questions asked.
why didn't they go back to the moon?
Yeah, that too.
They went 6 times.
They're going to send a woman any day now.
They had to have.
Okay,
but then in a 3-year period, and then they never went back.
There's not a lot. Yeah.
It's expensive. I don't know.
Not a lot of good
the
restaurants there.
The Van Allen radiation checkpoint.
Well,
Yeah, you can't get past the firmament. That's the firmament.
Again, I like to stir
They've been landing
the
shit
shit.
on the moon recently. Like even if it falls over.
But if they could do it, with 1960s technology,
but there's
you'd
not
think
really
they
a
could
good
do it
reason to
with a
risk
Tesla.
human life to get on the moon anymore, right?
Well, we don't have any bases there yet. We don't have. Do we?
Well, that's what the Space Force is for, dude.
Space Force.
James,
on the moon again.
James,
Send my
about
tax
the
dollars
telemetry
directly
data?
to Space Force.
Do you know about the telemetry data, the schematics for the moon, the lunar lander, any of that stuff? So the telemetry data, they're like, NASA was asked by a bunch of autistic nerds, hey, where's the telemetry data? And they're like, we don't have it. And they're like, why not? And they're like, well, we're not a museum, a storage facility, or a library, but so we threw it away. They threw it away. Do you know who would have loved to have those schematics? A library, a museum, even a storage facility. They'd be like, fuck yeah, it's worth billions of dollars because it's like mankind's greatest achievement.
Or all of the future astronauts. There was tremendous value in that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
no,
obvious.
why can't we go back?
Bullshit.
Because we threw it away.
They also overwrote the original VHS cassettes of the fucking landing.
Yeah,
these,
with their
I'm
weddings.
sorry, but at some point you have to go from the government's worthless and they fuck up all the time to this was an intentional cover up. So I don't know which of it.
This is an example. He brought up Jeffrey Epstein in the beginning. Let's make a comparison real quick to Jeffrey Epstein and the moon landing. The thing is that when Jeffrey Epstein and the fucking Jewish mafia started sexually blackmailing people, we're fucking going there. We're fucking going there. Search Google Meyer Lansky, bro. They invented this shit, okay? Listen. When they started doing this, there wasn't any internet. They didn't know about that shit. And then the internet sprung up, so they had to get a fucking bailout plan. When they did this moon scheme, there was no fucking internet. Nobody could tell the fucking difference between this grainy footage. Throw him this. Oh yeah, we got a telephone call with Dick Nixon as from the moon. These fucking assholes will
Landline
believe
to the
it.
moon, but I can't get a fucking Skype call out of my phone.
Come on.
We have no reception
You
here
must be grown up.
but somehow we're on the moon, right? And
But you know what makes a ton of sense is that as soon as we got the internet and all this advanced technology, it's become completely impossible to go back with a human being. Really, really interesting how that works. Look, I think
now they have insurance, and it's fucking expensive. Okay,
like they have unlimited resources, and the more they spend, the more they get.
They still have a printing press.
NASA is
Yeah,
a
they got the
great
printing press.
money laundering operation, so they would love to just do that, even if they were lying. Oh, we're going to the moon. Give us $10 billion.
They can make more money blowing up Palestinians
why not
now. Okay?
I would
They
like
don't
to
have do
believe that we went. I think it's one of the greatest achievements of mankind, if not the greatest achievement of mankind. I just don't think that it happened, and that sucks. That fucking sucks.
It'd be real cool if we did.
You officially don't think it happened.
Well, I don't think. I don't know.
You radicalized him. I pushed him there, and you radicalized him. Thank you.
Apparently, this is the Punk Rock Bully Clinton podcast.
That's fine.
More like an unbased bitch podcast.
I'm gonna build the wall and keep
voice
Punk
of
Rock Liberty
reason.
outside of it.
That's in the tagline.
I love you guys. I'm sorry. I'm a dick.
No, it's all right.
So
Let's
next
stop
guy,
the
Jared,
infighting.
moon landing.
Moon landing. I mean, I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, like, what does it really fucking matter if they win or not? It's a
How
cool
much you
story.
trust your government, Jared?
What difference
How
does
much
it
you
make?
trust your government, Jared?
Did you get that? Did you get that reference? He got it too.
What was the reference? No, I mean, I don't know.
So I think the moon landing is plausible because at the time the Nazis were still alive. Okay, and they had recently brought them over from.
They were literally working on the spacecraft.
Right,
of course, they were
World War
alive.
II had
That's
ended.
their shit.
They brought them over. The
Paper
Nazis
cut.
there. They had all these these people really knew rocketry and shit. Like they knew their shit, right?
They had
They knew interdimensional
and now you look
demons,
at
too.
NASA
They
and
knew
you look
about that
like,
shit.
God, those guys are a bunch of.
Hold on.
like,
So what you're
dweebs.
saying is the
You say they're
Nazis had some
dweebs.
good ideas.
Now you say they're a bunch of dweebs, they're a bunch of
I'm sorry.
nerds, bunch of bureaucracy. They can't possibly do it now because all those original Rocketeers are dead.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think
Bounce on diversity
I would land on the side of they probably did, but I can see some dissent there, and ultimately, it's like, what does it really matter?
Well, let's go find out.
Will we go into the moon, dude?
It matters a lot. It matters a lot because it demonstrates the level of deception that the government is capable of. It also.
But I already know they're capable of.
Well, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about normal people.
Sure.
That would be very impactful for them to understand that the greatest achievement in human history was actually a fraud by the federal government. That's a very meaningful thing.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
You mean the creation of Bitcoin was a fraud?
Look, so I got into libertarianism because I was a conspiracy guy, and then I found a bunch of conspiracy guys in libertarianism, and
now you're
then I
Democrat.
started digging into libertarian stuff, and then people, I dig into conspiracies, politics, and religion on my show, and in every one, no matter who I talk to, there's somebody calling me a fucking shill or a fed or a psyop or whatever, and when I got into libertarianism out of conspiracy stuff, I went to PorkFest, and do you remember, anybody remember Roger Paxton? He was like the head of PorkFest. Great guy. I had a moon landing denier guy who made a 3-hour documentary who will blow your fucking Fed socks off. His name's Massimo Mazzucco. It's called American Moon. It's 3 hours long. The first 10 minutes, he'll have you fuck shit. And then for 2 hours and 49 minutes, he'll be just beating you over the head with it. Because So when I had this guy on my show, I put out, I was like, does anybody have questions for this moon landing denier documentarian, whatever? And Roger Paxton was like, ask him why he's fucking retarded. And I love Roger. And then I went to PorkFest and I did their soapbox idol thing. And I was like, look, guys, all you libertarians who have issue with conspiracy theorists, all we're asking you to do is trust the government a little bit less. That's it. Just look into it for 2 seconds. You don't trust the COVID stuff? Maybe look into the moon landing stuff. James, do you know how many times man has landed on the moon?
No.
Do you know how many countries have landed on the moon?
I mean, soft impacts or
humans,
people?
Yeah.
I guess just the United States, right?
Yeah. Most people don't even know that. Most people don't know how many times people have gone to the moon.
People have crashed a lot of shit into it recently.
There's so many reasons.
I mean, if you can crash something into the, are you saying these recent missions are fake too?
I'm saying at the very least, man has not walked on the moon.
Okay, but what about these recent missions? Are they fake?
Yes.
Probably.
I think they're probably.
Yes. Alex doesn't believe in the moon now.
It's totally doable if it's unmanned. The main issue is getting. The main issue is getting human beings through the Van Allen radiation belt, as far as I can tell.
Yes.
Which they didn't realize were there at the time.
And the other issue, the other thing that makes it really damning against the claim that we've actually been, is that everyone goes, well, once we were there was no reason to go back. Bull fucking shit. There's no reason for the Chinese or the Russians or the Indians or anybody else to land a man on the moon and say, hey, we're the big dick on the block now. We can do the same shit the Americans can. There's massive incentive, and none of them can do it. Why?
Yeah. Because Stanley Kubrick wasn't, and they didn't have a Dan Smots to film.
I think it's a fair question. Yeah,
did a great job.
Maybe.
You know they fake those beheading videos. Come on, that was only a couple years ago. Of course they'll fake.
And for the record, I know this is not to my benefit because a lot of the people in the LP that apparently think the moon landing happened hate my guts for talking about this.
Yeah.
But I have studied it quite a bit, and it has left me with more questions than answers. And I'm like, this shouldn't be that hard to prove.
And he's still not convinced, but you're radicalizing him. Thank you for that, because some of us have been here saying, hey, y'all, just trust the government a little bit less. Now, we can move on to something else. I'm not really actually the head of this conversation. It's you guys' podcast.
Dude, I cannot believe you can control the camera with your phone. That is fucking cool as shit.
He's got control over our levels.
He is angling
technology.
Amazing.
Got the robots on my side.
We can't land on the moon, but
not
you can
Lisa,
do this?
Just this robot right here.
All right, hold on.
Let's take audience topics to argue
Let's take some
about.
audience questions.
So normally when we do our podcast, we have a bunch of comments coming
have some
in. Usually
feeds.
it's this guy, but sometimes it's not.
Don't point at me. I've never seen your show.
That's right. I'm sorry. Somebody that looks
Don't
like
accuse
this
him
guy.
of that. He's got like a life.
Yeah.
New
So
subscriber.
let's sort of like pretend that that's what's happening here, and let's get some comments. Let's get some questions from the audience.
While we wait for that,
Joe,
wait for that, can I make one point?
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Because there was a claim made earlier that basically order of operations doesn't matter. And as someone who came from California and witnessed the decriminalization of drugs, but that was not matched simultaneously with an increase in personal responsibility and freedom, it is ultimately going to increase state power as it will in any of these blue states that ultimately allow for homelessness to run amok. It will end up being essentially a police state, whereas libertarians will say, oh, we just have to diminish state power, fucking damn the consequences. The reality, and I know this is consequentialist argumentation, and this is why it runs afoul of you guys, but it doesn't change the reality that if you do not pay attention to order of operations when it comes to open borders or abolishing the police or legalizing drugs or vagrancy laws, whatever, it will ultimately create a paradigm that allows for the state to garner more power.
No,
That's
Clint.
the point I wanna
I
make.
think that's the distinction, though, is
no.
like consequentialism versus a principled libertarian position. The principled libertarian position is the non-aggression principle,
And an ignorance of the libertarian solutions that like once you really drill through them can have like radical.
It's not an ignorance of it; it's practicality. It's what's
But-
feasible versus what's not.
To Clint's point,
but
and
none of it's really feasible. I mean,
to-
you're
to
not
Clint-
going to convince any government to do anything.
Well, right. We can't.
That's just how they are.
Doesn't. To Clint's point, he made a really. Driving back last night, I want to drop you back off. You made a really good point in your travels to many of libertarian conventions.
Yeah.
You're like, dude, the people like libertarians in blue states are more fucking based because we understand like this is how the state. Yeah, this is how the state fucking operates. In the red state, they're a bunch of fucking lowbirds. Like, oh, okay, cool, because they don't have to deal with the consequences that is of the state.
Well, they're probably just rebelling against
being
their own
from Texas and
tyranny
having
in
the
those
wackiest
states.
fucking affiliate.
And the tyranny there tends to be more of the sort of Republican tyranny.
I guess what I'm getting at is like libertarians in Maryland, we're fucking based. Why? Because we're dealing with fucking Democrats that are fucking commies. They're fucking commies. They want to.
How does that make you different than everywhere else?
It really? Well, no. But here's the thing. Because to Clint's point, like, all right, they're in Texas, and I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm becoming a little more conservative. Maybe I'm not a libertarian anymore. And I've said it a couple of episodes ago.
Shit.
I might not be a libertarian.
Where's your card?
Punk Rock Republicans.
I'm ripping up your card.
Punk rock social conservatives.
You heard it here first.
Punk rock social conservatives.
Alex, did you see how your people reacted when that guy was like, I don't know if libertarian will be on my sign? They were like, get the fuck out of here, bro. You better be careful.
No, but it's really it's true. Like when you're behind enemy lines and you're speaking truth to power, that's all I'm saying is like, yeah, we're more fucking based. Reason being because we're living amongst a bunch of fucking communist, Marxist, socialist.
Unlike Pennsylvania,
in Maryland,
it's not a given. I live in Illinois.
The state
it's
sucks.
With a bunch of red. But it's all controlled by Chicago, and then the Libertarian Party is very not based.
Really quick,
So
I feel like this side of the table feels comfortable saying I am comfortable in my libertarian principles, and that's good enough. James, if your car gets stolen, are you calling the cops?
It would be certainly my last resort.
It would be your only option, bro. It's your only option.
What's your first resort?
Well, this is cheap.
You know what I mean?
Stole my car.
I'd probably have to file a police report to get like insurance coverage.
But what I'm saying is, then you are kind of.
I drive on government roads. Jim.
Yes, you do, and you have a license, and you pay taxes.
That doesn't mean I can.
Well, don't say he pays taxes. Don't.
I get it, but even though we can all claim to be philosophically anarchists, but technically we are all statists because we are all in the statist paradigm.
We're still operating.
But that's like saying that if you were in a concentration camp, you're a Nazi because you're just going along with their shit.
Well, you guys were,
and you choose to eat the gruel. You chose to eat the gruel in the concentration camp, so you consented.
Slavery was a choice. Kanye West.
I should have just harikari'd on the fucking.
He ate the gruel. He consented. That was his social contract in the concentration
All right, that's
camps.
the name of the episode.
Social contract gruel.
I'm making a serious point. I know it's hard to make a serious point right now, but the defund the police movement that has happened in these blue states, it has not coincided with an increase in gun rights for the citizenry, and as a consequence, you are seeing violent crime and private property theft and all sorts of things get out of control. And if you think that the reaction to that is going to be, well, we're just going to have to embrace libertarianism harder, you're fucking out of your mind.
We need to embrace more libertarian
do you
gun
guys
ownership.
think the defund the police movement is grassroots?
Libertarians have gun ownership.
Fucking commies.
Libertarian gun ownership.
Wait.
Look, I hate cops. We asked Lisa, when is it justified to shoot a
bitch
cop?
lied to me.
When they're at the border. When is it justified to shoot a cop?
Yeah, and it said vote for Mike Tremont, 2000.
When the cop is a Mexican at the border.
Yeah,
there's only one answer. There's only one answer to that question.
In Maryland, I gotta fill out all this bullshit to fucking carry. I don't give a fuck. Guess what? Feds, pay up. $1,000 gets you the Fed level, and we'll talk our deepest, darkest, serious shit.
Patreon.com/Punk Rock Libertarians.
$1,000 fucking Feds. It cuts out a lot of listening to our gibberish bullshit for hours.
Right. I'll tell you about my tax strategy. Everything.
Exactly. $1,000, you fucking Feds. Tune in.
A month.
Pay our fucking podcast.
Yeah, a month.
Our tax avoidance strategy.
I don't know where we're going with that.
No lie. We had
if cops exist. Look, I'm not saying yes, I want cops. But if cops are going to exist,
give them more power.
Well, no, I don't give them more power.
Unleash the cops.
The only reason they should fucking exist is to protect life, liberty, and property.
Oh, that's
and
adorable.
if they do not do that, then they should not fucking exist.
So they should not exist.
And that's it.
So they not exist.
But hold on, they don't. So they should not exist. Yes. But we can't debate in Lolbert world.
But hold on.
I feel like this entire thing. Hold on. This entire thing is me, Dave, and Clint trying to destroy the Punk Rock Libertarians podcast and get you guys to rile up.
It's not gonna work, dude.
Okay.
How many politicians have we ruined their careers?
Oh yeah, dude. Judge Brown is
Judge.
Otto took down Joe Jorgensen.
I did take down Joe Jorgensen. Yeah.
Joe Jorgensen.
That was a good one.
Judge Jim Gray.
Jim Gray. Who else did we ruin? We ruined one.
I mean, Gary Johnson lost.
Yeah, Gary Johnson. He came on PRL.
We didn't attack him. He
was in
Are you guys
PRL
really bragging about toppling libertarians who had no chance of winning?
Yeah.
Took about the game.
That is our claim to fame, sir, and you will respect
the weakest among us. We destroyed them.
No,
we fucking ruined Joe Jorgensen's campaign. It's like
Judge Gray will not be fucking with us again.
I am proud that Judge Jorgensen got 2% because that was me. I destroyed the Libertarians' chance of winning.
Real talk.
Did Judge Jim Gray sing an opera on your show? I don't think so, bro. I don't think so.
Now give us your Patreon money, everyone. No, but come on, man. Like
Jim Gray sang a whole like opera.
Yeah, he sang like
went on for like 3.5 hours.
Literally, he said like
we're surprised we still have a show.
The whole it sucks because the whole convention or lead up to it was he came on our show, Judge Jim Gray, and said that he would arrest someone as a judge. He would have the person arrested for telling people about jury nullification. He said that on our show.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole lead up to hit the nomination process was, talking about that. And not once did anyone say anything about on our podcast.
So Judge Jim Gray sang a rock opera.
Yeah, he sang a rock opera.
Was it better or
Not
worse
a rock
than Mike
opera, it was just
Tremotte's
an opera,
played whatever?
It was better than Mike Tremotte's. I'm sorry.
It was like Hamiltonian, like Broadway.
Yeah.
And he.
Yeah.
Can we talk about why Mike Tremott would shoot a bullet right above his girlfriend's or wife's head?
To prove that he can be trusted.
Whoa!
The former cop shot a gun above his wife's head to prove that he is a trusted former cop and should be our libertarian presidential
Wait, this is a
candidate.
real story.
My reaction was not positive. Go ahead.
That really wasn't real.
I'm pretty sure I saw the footage, and we landed on the moon, and he shot a fucking gun at us.
So he.
It's crazy though that he would do
was
that,
trying
not knowing
to
that other
convince
people
us.
would know that.
He also did not.
He was trying to convince us that he was terrible with guns, that he would shoot a gun above his wife's head. So he faked it to prove that he's a trusted former cop.
He's not reckless with firearms. He's fake reckless.
Oh,
with
that was
firearms.
that was in the
So
video,
you can
right?
trust him.
That was on video.
Yes. That's his wife, Nancy.
Yeah, he should have ran that. He must be surrounded by some. He needed to be
God bless
around you
Nancy's.
because too many yes men going. Yeah, this is a great video. You should upload that.
I didn't approve that one either.
Yeah,
How
that
about
was-
Mike Tremont's 6 Mike Tremonts around a table talking to Mike Tremont? You're wrong. It was 6 minutes long. Anyway, we're getting too deep into the weeds here. Alex bailed.
I think he had to go.
Just gotta take a little
drain the main vein.
bathroom break.
I don't know how long we're supposed to go here or how long we're
Dude,
not.
we're just gonna keep going.
We can, but yeah.
Let's take more audience feedback.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
I'm
do audience
interested to hear.
questions because my batteries are going to die at some point.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, this is the greatest thing I've seen in a long time. This is
Yeah.
amazing.
Wow,
thanks,
that's
man.
you
Why
lived a
don't
sad
you-
life, my
Tim.
friend.
If you have a thought or a
We
question,
apologize.
come.
DC convention, this shit's lit.
Oh yeah, this
Come-
is way more entertaining than anything in DC. Unless
Lit
someone
as
sets
fuck,
himself
we're
on
doing
fire.
Great. Good job, us. But if you have a question, come forward and we'll hand you one of the mics so that we get it on the recording too.
Oh yeah, good call.
Yeah, just come up here and talk into our faces.
Come on, man.
Just grab the mic.
Grab the mic.
I'll take Clint's mic since my question's for him as he's representative of the Tower Gang podcast. And my question for you is, I was planning to vote for Toad for president.
Based.
But he's a coward.
But he's a coward and he's not here.
Amen.
Should I still do that?
Well, thank you for the question.
Let's hear. Let's hear.
And I'm quite prepared to answer.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to answer this. The fact that you ever considered voting for Toad means that you should never vote again in your life.
No. Hold on. Let me interject. The fact that you are thinking about voting for Toad doesn't mean that you're wrong. It means that the Libertarian Party has failed you. And I'm sorry. If it's come to this, yes, I agree with you. And if it's come to this, then God damn it. Like, try harder. Everyone. I don't know who I'm talking to. Anybody on this
Where's he
panel?
at in the
Anybody
polls?
listening
Where's
in
he at
future?
in the polls?
If you're
If
even
anybody's
thinking about
considering
voting,
for
we have
Toad,
failed.
As I am.
If you
We
still
have
think
failed.
voting works.
Yeah, come on.
We're abolishing the 19th. Let's abolish voting.
Yeah.
I really, really want him to get on the debate stage. I hope he can.
That's super fun. Why not?
Wait, what about all mail-in voting?
Our fans are crowdfunding money to try and get Toad on the debate.
We're
not donating a penny for it.
We can all talk over each other, but it's not good content. James, I'm curious.
None
Your
of this
thoughts on Toad for president 2024?
Well, I like the idea of having like a live shit poster in office. like if I thought like he could rise to the office, I would be behind him with my entire kingdom behind him.
We can agree on that,
He could take
please.
the office,
Even
right?
more than Clint can agree. We can agree
I
on
just
that.
don't think he could. I don't think he can get there.
Well, no.
Who's
Not
gonna
all.
get there, James?
If there's an opportunity for like just like live like shit posting.
You're here for the show.
System, I have no problem with. I think that's fantastic.
James, I just want you to know that over the past week, Toad has argued for not only building the wall but also for the death penalty. So.
That's disappointing. This sounds like your ideal candidate.
You literally just said you would support him. How are you going to flip this on me? What the
gaslighting motherfucker?
I'm sitting up here saying, don't ever fucking vote again if you want to support Toad.
James is like,
and he's going, he sounds pretty good to me.
I'll do it again. I'll look at.
Now we wonder why Kennedy dipped his toe in and was like, no.
Listen, there's a reason they don't let
gaslighting
felons.
motherfuckers around here.
Real talk.
Not for all the
Kennedy,
ballot access in the world.
The Kennedy and Mike witnessed it, and Chris Mears and everybody in this crowd. The Kennedy campaign is still trying to get ballot access. They still show up to gun shows, which we do.
Wait, and they demand a gun-free zone gun show? How the fuck does that work?
They have not.
What?
I want an empty fairgrounds now.
Yeah. But
well, you know they shot my uncle.
The fact, like, literally, like 2 weekends ago, they're still showing up to gun shows in Maryland. It's like, yo, you still haven't got ballot access? Like, you guys suck. And then you keep coming to gun shows.
Yeah, you got a door knock like Alex did.
It's like, yeah, it might not be happening, but anyway.
Any other questions? Questions?
Chris.
Bring it on up.
All right. Chris.
All right.
Base Chris.
So you know we're talking about conspiracies, really, right?
Yeah.
All right. Last November, San Francisco. Gavin Newsom, preparing for the visit, just cleaned up part
China.
of San Francisco.
Uh-huh.
What happened to those people? I have not heard shit about them. Where'd they go?
They're with the Uyghur camp.
Listen, first of all, when they spent the money to do that, that's very statist, so I'm against it.
They're federal employees.
Soylent Green.
Leave it a shithole.
One at a time. Okay. I feel like we'll have some disagreements on this one.
Okay.
Clint,
let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
I feel like we should go down the line. What did Gavin Newsom do? Did he Hoppian out the homeless? Or
physical removal?
There is no news, only spin.
He unleashed the cops.
Smith strategy.
All right, yeah.
Where did they go? Who cares?
Yeah.
want
He
James's
totally hoppa the shit out of those people. Oh, yeah.
No,
they got booted to, like, San Bernardino or some shit. Yeah. They're over in Oakland.
He's like, China's coming. What must be done? Let's do it.
Physically removed.
But what is what is the state now? What is it like
so
now?
now that Gavin
they
Newsom
back?
is full on Hoppian, are you guys in like full support of Gavin Newsom?
Nah. Fuck
Well,
that
where?
guy.
Hold on. But where are they now? Is there no homeless people in
Oh, they're
San
back.
Francisco
They
anymore?
crept right back.
I think that was the question. Where are they now? I want Clint's thoughts.
They
now.
were held for 72 hours, then they were released right back into their fucking shithole street corners.
Right. Literally shithole.
That's the honest truth.
Yeah,
they were hidden in the homeless
tucked
encampments.
away
They
in
were
the
threatened.
closets.
They were threatened with jail if they wouldn't go. And then as soon as Xi Jinping was out of there, he's like, "Boss is gone. Everybody back to
So listen, the important question is:
NASA's gone. NASA's gone.
Did the chairman enjoy his visit? Okay. All right. And I think we can all agree he had a great time. And whatever the homeless people did after that really doesn't matter.
He didn't contract MRSA. Great trip.
Did he do any fentanyl?
How's your trip, Mr. Chairman?
Did he enjoy any fentanyl or?
Yo,
Did he take any Did he go to like San Francisco and like poop on the sidewalk like a local or?
When in Rome.
Did he enjoy the Western traditions?
It's like when you go to Japan, you always have to get
culture
sushi,
that we
right?
have in this country.
Well, when they go to San Francisco, they shit on the street. They have to try our delicacies.
That's what you do here.
Yeah, it's all part of the Western culture we have.
Oh man, this is so much better than what happened earlier. I'd pay $60 just to come here and talk about this.
Do you mean Clint's speech?
Huh?
Do you mean Clint's speech?
No, I love Clint's speech.
Ruthless.
It was worth every penny.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie, Amy based.
Amy
Based
set
beach.
it up for darkness. She was
She
concerned
did.
about the
She's
darkness.
like, what
And then
the
we're
fuck
like,
are we
let's
doing
bring
here?
it down 12 octaves.
She-
and then
she
Clint's like,
did-
let's wrap this up and let's talk about depression.
She texted me
Like-
earlier, the night before, and goes, "I want to deliver something inspirational," and I was like, "Don't."
You can't.
No.
We're past the inspiration. I'm sorry.
No, this is a true story. Every state I go to, I've been to, I don't even know, like 10 or something. And every state I go to, they go, you're a fire us up guy. You're a motivational guy. I need positivity from you. And I was like, you understand?
Sorry.
Like the whole thing that I do is just talking about how fucked up things are.
It's about to get real dark, bitch.
I made an entire
libertarians are
career
these?
on depression
Yeah, I
and
was like-
anxiety, and we're locked down.
I was
That's
like,
my whole
the
thing.
name of my shit is Liberty Lockdown.
Your speech today was like, hey, by the way, I got off SSRIs.
Yeah, I was like, super suicidal right now. But I feel like
I'm
you guys
literally
are gonna
reading
crush
books
it.
on not to kill myself.
So I want to give it up to
Everything's coming up aces lately.
I want to give it up to the Libertarian Party of Maryland and the Punk Rock Libertarians guys for bringing us out to be the voice of darkness, the most depressing voices of inspiration that you could possibly get.
A lot of people in this room to thank for that. Kyle,
Very
Donald. Chair.
Kyle. Base Kyle.
All right, I just want to say something real quick. I just want to appreciate everyone who's listening, everyone who's checked out the podcast, all the people here. And if you didn't have Asperger's, you definitely do now. Well,
it's contagious.
Yes. We'll be the first known
If you
case
want
in
Phil to
history.
show his tits, send your
Fed
money
level.
to-
So I'll
If
show you.
you enjoyed this show, vote for Toad.
If you didn't, then you're a normal human being.
The collapsitarian candidate.
Well, I guess until next time, everybody, live free
or die.
Do you know how embarrassing that would have been if you guys just were like, what?
And in the emo caucus slogan, live free or kill yourself.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe on your way out and help us change the world one uncomfortable conversation at a time. And if you like what you hear and you want to hear more, go join the Downers Club at patreon.com/thesystemsdown for bonus episodes of the show every single week. Until next time, please continue to question everything, stay uncomfortable, and I'll talk to you then. Thanks.